Welcome back. We're still reading from No Clear Path, a short story. Today we'll read about a young woman who's making a life-changing decision. Here's Consuelo reading.
Pursuit. Amanda strode up to the counter and ordered a latte. Seeing her, you wouldn't think she was beautiful, but she was interesting looking. She was long-limbed with curly auburn hair that was irregularly parted in the middle and hung in a cloud to her shoulders. Her eyes were slightly slanted and were a shocking amber in color. She picked up her order and stopped at a table where a woman sat sipping coffee and studying a screen on her tablet. "May I share your table? Everything's full." The woman looked up, and Amy saw an interplay of distrust and curiosity struggling in the woman's face. "Yes, of course," she said, and returned to her screen. Amanda sat her latte aside and quickly withdrew her sketch pad and pencil from her backpack. She concentrated on the woman's locked-away face, the lips pressed firm in concentration, the jaw. That was the key to the face. She tore off the sheet and began again. She imagined she could feel the bones of the woman's face in her fingers. She traced them on the paper in spidery lines. "I usually get paid for this." "Oh, you're a model?" Amanda guessed. "Sorry." Her face flushed and her trembling fingers fumbled to pick up her pen and closed her pad. The woman smiled and said, "That's all right. May I see?" Amanda reluctantly slid her sketch pad across the table. The woman studied the sketch of herself along with sketches stuck in the back of her pad. Amanda sipped her latte and watched the woman's face for clues. Did she like them? Hate them? The woman looked up from her sketches and said, "These are quite good." Amanda was surprised. "Are you an art major?" "No, I'm still in high school, graduating next week." "Then you'll be going somewhere to major in art." Not exactly. Mom wants me to major in something practical like accounting so I can support myself." "Is that what you want?" the woman asked. Amanda wanted to retrieve her sketch pad and run. Why was the woman so interested? Amanda sat mute, unwilling to share her dreams with a stranger. The woman gently touched Amanda's wrist and said, "I know someone who can judge your talent better than I can. How about Sunday afternoon at my place? Bring some of your things, something finished. I'm Kara. Here's my address and phone number. I'm on the top floor. Come at 3. Amanda stared at the paper and nodded numbly, not sure what to make of the invitation, not sure how she would arrange things at home. The woman gathered up her things and said, "I've got to run. Give me a call if you can't make it." Sure, thanks." Amanda arranged her favorite art pieces in her bag and headed for the door. She left a note with Kara's name, address, and a number on the kitchen counter. On the short walk to Kara's apartment, Amanda's thoughts raced between facing her mother with an explanation and the fear she now felt about some art expert looking at her stuff. The door to Kara's apartment was opened by a muscular 30-ish man wearing a green silk shirt with a parrot perched on his shoulder. "Wow, I'd like to capture that," the parrot croaked. "Mind your manners, Jake. We have a guest." To Amanda, he said, "Amanda, I'm Daryl. Do come in. Kara's in the kitchen." Daryl ushered her into a separately furnished room. Just a sofa, 2 folding chairs, crates that served as a coffee table, and a bookcase overflowing with books. There were no rugs on the painted wooden floor. She wondered at the severity of the room until her eyes traveled to a wide, curtainless double windows. There she saw a sculpture on a workbench. Go ahead, Darrell said. The sculpture base sloped upward to the right, forming a gentle hill. A magnificent horse appeared to flow effortlessly up the hill, while the woman on his back rested a hand lightly on his neck and turned to look behind her. Her left arm stretched out, beckoning to someone. There was something of Kara's delicacy in her face and subtly strong jaw. But it was her mouth with its mocking but encouraging smile that intrigued. In her hair, there was a circlet of birds, small as butterflies. Amanda studied the sculpture without speaking or really being aware of anyone else in the room. Its effect on her was more than an appreciation for the technical skill of the artist. The sculpture was an emotional and spiritual blockbuster. When she looked up, Kara and Darrell were watching her. Obviously, I love the piece, Amanda said, gesturing to the sculpture. It gives me such a feeling of freedom and flowing that I could fly, touch the stars, do whatever I wanted. And it has such a lovely balance between grace and energy. Darrell squeezed her arms. Thanks. Now let's see what you've brought. Amanda hesitated. How could she show her things to someone so gifted? Kara thinks you have talent, Darrell said. I trust her judgment. Amanda knew she couldn't refuse. Nervously, she handed him her things. Darrell propped Amanda's painting and her pen and ink drawings against the crates. He studied them for so long, Amanda wanted to grab them and run. She was on the verge of panic when he said, She needs training, Kara, but these are incredibly good. She knows instinctively when to be bold or subtle. And she has a feeling for the essence of her subject, which, of course, is essential. Amanda was stunned by the lavish praise. Thanks, Darrell. She was interpreted by Jake, who flew over and perched on Darrell's shoulder. Pack your bags, Tootsie! We're going to Paris! He shrilled. They all laughed, and perhaps excessively, at the break in their intense interaction. Kara and Darrell looked at Jake and then at Amanda, and then at each other in a silent dialogue that excluded Amanda. Kara turned to her and said, You know, Amanda, Jake may have something there. Darrell and I haven't discussed it because it didn't occur to us until just this moment. I invited you here because I thought you had a lot of talent, and I wanted Darrell to confirm it. I thought maybe he could encourage you to at least take some classes in art along with the practical curriculum you seem to have mapped out for yourself. But it just occurred to both of us that perhaps you deserve better than that. Darrell interrupted Kara. I have a grant to study in Paris. You could come with us. Free rent. Maybe you could sell hand-painted shoulder bags like the one you've made for yourself, Kara said. It's beautiful, and Paris boutiques would love it. Amanda walked over to Darrell's sculpture. I'm calling it Pursuit, he said. The irony was not lost on Amanda. She felt the excitement and terror rising in her throat. Paris had been her secret dream for more than a year now. It was a bright space she retreated to in her imagination when she felt too alone, too different. Or when her mother began her impassioned monologue about how Amanda was going to start making big money. Big, at least compared with her current situation. She had carried the burden of wanting to help her mother, but also wanted to pursue in her art. As Amanda neared graduation, her anxiety and self-doubt had led to the first real dishonesty in her relationship with her mother. She pretended an interest in community college that she did not truly feel. Now she was being offered the opportunity to fulfill her dream, to go to Paris, and with a fellow artist. She could learn so much. She hungered for the experience, felt her knees go rubbery with her desire. She looked at Kara and Daryl as an addict looks at the syringe. Her desire sickened her. How could she consider being so selfish? How could she use the money she had saved for tuition on a plane ticket? After all her mother had done for her, how could she do it? Yet her own need was so great. She steadied herself on the workbench. Kara came over and pulled her gently to a chair. She sat on the floor at Amanda's feet. But it was Daryl who spoke. I don't know your situation, Amanda. And if I told you of my own struggles, they might influence you. And I don't want to do that. This decision has to be yours because only you can know yourself well enough to know what is right for you. Anyone with half a brain could make a good case either way. But remember, just as no one else can decide what is best for you, you cannot decide what is best for someone else. If you live your life to please someone else, you may, in fact, be robbing them of the chance to have a new experience, to grow themselves. Daryl sat down beside Kara and put his arm around her. All I know about you, Amanda, is you have talent and perceptiveness, he said. Those are the building blocks for 100 things you could do. For instance, you could be a graphic artist for an advertising firm and make big bucks. You could illustrate books or do a cartoon strip or design clothes or open your own boutique. Or you could go to Paris and find whether the life of an artist is for you. Amanda put her hand to her mouth and closed her eyes. The overload of words frightened her. Her only passion was art. She wanted to learn to paint, to be conscious of light like the Impressionists, and to be so good at detail and form that she could deviate with all honesty. And she wanted to show the relatedness she felt between all living things. To someday paint the anger in someone's eyes and show it reflected in a turbulent sky. But she had so much to learn. All the passion trapped within herself to conform to her mother's idea of her future tore from her in a sob that could not be suppressed. She cried out of pity for herself in having to make such a hard decision. She cried for her mother, whom she surely would hurt, even if only momentarily. She cried because her mother had taught her to be independent, to have the kind of courage she now realized she had. She cried because her world was changing and would change further regardless of what she decided. She wiped her eyes and smiled at her new friends. There was only one choice she could make.
Please join us next time when a young girl makes a plea for something she believes is right, even though it goes against everything her father knows and believes in. See you then. If you'd like to contact me, you can email me. You can also visit my website, lorrainesiegel.com.